Major changes have already hit the travel world and more changes are coming mid-2025. So you better get ready. If you're not ready, it could turn into serious challenges for you. These updates are going to impact nearly everyone in some way, so knowing what's ahead could save you time, money, and stress. In this guide, I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest changes that you absolutely need to know as a traveler in 2025. Let's dive right in with one of the biggest updates that is already in motion and will affect every U.S. citizen taking domestic and international flights this year. On January 8, 2025, U.S. citizens traveling to the UK will need an ETA, or Electronic Travel Authorization. The approval process takes only half an hour and expires in 2 years. Starting April 10th, U.S. citizens will be required to get an e-visa to visit Brazil. When you submit to renew your U.S. passport online, your current passport becomes invalid until the new passport arrives. The usual time frame from submission to approval is said to be 4 to 6 weeks, but mine arrived in 10 days. It was super easy and hassle-free. Starting May 7, 2025, anyone over the age of 18 will need a real ID to board a commercial flight in the United States. This isn't just some optional update. It's a must-have if you want to fly within the U.S. after that date. So what exactly is a real ID? Think of it as a super secure, federally approved ID that's designed to prevent fraud and confirm your identity. It's required for commercial air travel and a few other federal purposes. Now let's take a deep dive into this because it is extremely important. Before you panic about the need to upgrade, let's figure out if you already have one. Take a look at your driver's license or state-issued ID. If there's a little star in the top right corner, congratulations. You're already Real ID compliant and you don't need to do anything else. If you're from states like New York or Michigan and you have an enhanced driver's license, you're also good to go, even if it doesn't have that star. But if your ID doesn't meet these criteria, you'll need to upgrade before May 7th. Now, if you don't want to get a Real ID or can't get one in time, don't worry. You can still fly domestically using alternatives like a U.S. passport, a passport card, a trusted traveler card such as Global Entry, or a U.S. military ID. However, starting in May, if you show up at the airport without any of these documents, the TSA won't let you board your flight. No exceptions. Getting a Real ID isn't difficult, but it does take some planning. You'll need to visit your local DMV in person, and you'll have to bring a few specific documents with you. These include proof of identity, like a passport or a birth certificate, your social security number, and 2 documents that confirm your current address, such as utility bills or a rental agreement. Each state has slightly different requirements, so it's a good idea to check your DMV's website before you go. And don't wait until the last minute to do this. The process can take a little time, especially if there's a rush of people trying to get their IDs upgraded before the deadline. It's important to note that a Real ID is not a replacement for your passport if you're traveling internationally. This is strictly for domestic flights within the U.S. If you're planning an international trip, your passport is still the go-to travel document. Speaking of international travel, let's talk about another big rule change that's coming in 2025. Imagine this. You've planned your dream vacation to Europe, only to be turned away at the airport because you missed an important new requirement. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, starting in mid-2025, Europe's Schengen zone will officially begin enforcing a system called ETIAS. This new rule applies to travelers from visa-free countries like the US, Canada, and Australia, and it's something you'll need to know about if Europe is on your travel list. ETIAS stands for the European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's essentially a pre-travel screening program designed to improve security and make border crossings smoother. If you're used to visiting Europe without needing a visa, ETIAS is Europe's way of keeping track of who's coming before they actually arrive. Think of it as an RSVP system for travelers. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is the Schengen zone? It's a term that often gets confused with the European Union, but they're not the same thing. Europe is a continent. The European Union, EU, is a political and economic partnership between certain countries, and the Schengen zone is a separate area where people can travel freely without internal border checks. Many of Europe's most popular destinations, like France, Italy, and Spain, are part of the Schengen zone. Millions of travelers pass through this region every day, and ETIAS is Europe's way of streamlining that process while improving safety. If you've been traveling to this area visa-free, ETIAS will now apply to you. And trust me, it's better to know about this ahead of time than to be caught off guard at the airport. Stay tuned for details on how to apply for ETIAS and what to expect. The good news about ETIAS is that it's designed to be super easy. The entire process is quick, straightforward, and done online. All you have to do is head to the official ETIAS website, fill out a simple application, and provide a few basic details like your passport information and travel plans. You'll also answer a handful of questions as part of the process. It only costs €7. And the best part? It's completely free if you're under 18 or over 70. Approvals are expected to happen almost instantly, making this more of a formality than a hassle for most travelers. That said, ETIAS is expected to roll out about 6 months after another new system, ES, Entry, Exit System, launches. While there's no official start date yet, the current projection is sometime in 2025. All these new travel rules can feel overwhelming, though. Trying to keep up with changes like real ID requirements, ETIAS, and everything else might leave you feeling a little stressed. And let's face it, it's not just travel that can get overwhelming. It's life. We are already in 2025, and one of the most valuable investments you can make is to get as much information as possible so that your next trip can be smoother. Now let's dive into some good news for travelers, especially if you've ever had a flight canceled, delayed, or found yourself waiting forever for your bags. Thanks to new rules from the U.S. Department of Transportation, airlines are now required to step up their game, and this time, the process is automatic. That's right, no more chasing them down for what you're owed. Here's how it works. Starting this year, if your flight is canceled or significantly changed, for example, if it's delayed by more than 3 hours domestically or 6 hours internationally, or if the airline changes the airport, adds extra connections, or makes other big adjustments, they owe you a refund. And here's the best part. It's automatic. No more calling customer service, filling out endless forms, or jumping through hoops. The refund has to be processed quickly and returned in cash or back to your original payment method. No more sneaky "will refund you with a travel voucher" nonsense, unless, of course, you specifically request it. Oh, and here's a game changer and good news if you ask me. Airlines now have to issue refunds even if the delay or cancellation is due to weather. In the past, they could simply say, "Not our fault," and leave you stranded. Now, they're responsible, period. Before these new rules, getting your money back was like pulling teeth. Long hold times, unhelpful customer service, and a whole lot of frustration. But now, the process should be seamless and headache-free. And listen to this. It doesn't stop there. If your checked bag is delayed, you're entitled to a refund of the bag fee. All you need to do is file a mishandled baggage report. If your bag is delayed by 12 or more hours on a domestic flight, or between 15 and 30 hours internationally, you'll get your money back. Speaking of bags, let's talk about one of the most stressful things that can happen while traveling: losing your luggage. Thanks to a new partnership between Apple and several major airlines, your AirTag just got way more useful. Apple is teaming up with airlines to make it super easy to track and locate lost bags. With the new Share Item Location feature, you can share your AirTag's location directly with the airline. Here's how it works. If your bag goes missing, you just open the Find My app on your phone, generate a link to your AirTag's location, and send that link to the airline. They'll be able to see your bag's exact location on a map, just like you can. Android users should consider a smart tag. However, if you want to get an Apple AirTag, here's a pro tip. Pick up an AirTag and a cheap prepaid iPhone SE that runs on Wi-Fi, and that setup works fine for Find My tracking. One thing to note is that the link updates in real time, so the airline knows precisely where your bag is. It's also secure, with access limited to authorized airline staff, and it automatically expires after 7 days or once you've been reunited with your luggage. Right now, over 15 major airlines, including Delta, United, British Airways, and Qantas, are rolling out this feature. Some airlines plan to test it at select airports in early 2025, with more locations to follow. Why is this such a big deal? Well, up until now, even if you had an AirTag in your bag and knew exactly where it was, the airline couldn't use that information to help you. You'd be stuck knowing your bag was in, say, Atlanta, but the airline couldn't take action. Now both you and the airline can team up to get your luggage back to you faster. If you're not already using AirTags, now's the time to invest. They're small, affordable, and can save you from the nightmare of lost luggage. Personally, I never travel without an AirTag in every single bag I own. And last, but definitely not least, here's some long overdue news. U.S. citizens can now renew their passports online. No more printing forms, mailing things in, or being stuck without your passport while you wait. If it's almost time to renew your passport, then you'll want to watch my video on the new passport changes for 2025, where I'll walk you through the process step by step, cover who qualifies, and give you all the details you need. The link to the video is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Thanks so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you found some value from this. Use this information to get ready for your next trip. Please subscribe to the channel for more travel tips and hacks. Don't forget to hit the notification bell either so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. Visit the links in the description for great travel resources. This will help to support the channel. Check out the YouTube shopping cart by clicking on View Products to the bottom left of the video screen. Until next time, safe travel in 2025.